Mayu Ino, a Japanese friend, has a huge interest in farming issues. In 2009, she launched the Japanese-funded Seed to Table organization, which promoted eco-friendly agriculture across Vietnam. Living in Vietnam for 20 years, she visited households to convince farmers following the progress of eco-friendly agriculture and listen to their difficulties and help them seek buyers. From 2009, Mayu and Seed to Table had alleviated poverty in thousands of households in Vietnam.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Talk Vietnam. In the first part of our show, you've just seen an introduction about a very wonderful organization by the name of Seed to Table and the wonderful benefits that the organization has brought to local farmers here in the country. Our featured guest for Talk Vietnam today is actually the brains behind Seed to Table. Her name is Mayu Ino, and she hails from Japan. She came to Vietnam at the age of 20 and has spent the same amount of years, 2 decades, here in Vietnam, dedicated to developing organic farming and helping local farmers here in the country. Hello, Mayu.
Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yes, let's talk a little bit about the project Seed to Table. Why is it that you believe that organic farming can help the local farmers here in Vietnam make a better living?
In terms of improving and securing food security of small-scale farmers, as well as providing safe food, good for health for all people. To achieve those 2 goals, we have to think about the environment, because we don't have a good environment, we cannot produce agri products.
Yes.
So that's why we choose environmentally friendly farming, not only organic farming, but sustainable farming.
Yes.
And eco-friendly farming. So
yes.
I mean natural farming as well. So each method provides good influence, not harmful to the environment. So we have to choose this kind of method for sustainable production, sustainable development, and securing food security. So that's why we choose this method. Yes.
Farmers face a lot of risks. They are the ones who produce the agro-produce that we eat daily, but they themselves face the risks of such as a shortage of food themselves. They don't have food to eat, or they have an issue of oversupply where they can't find distribution outlet, or they have a season where they're hit by natural disaster. Tell us about some of the risks in further detail that the farmers here in Vietnam face.
We have to think about the environment and how to keep a balance between environmental protection and economical achievement. So that's why we have to choose the environmentally friendly farming. This method is also contributing for enhancing to adapt, for example, climate change.
Yes.
Or to reduce the risk they face. So if they concentrate to one crop, for example, cash crop,
yes.
for example, cassava only, or rice only, or wheat, or just tomato, it's very vulnerable for in terms of thinking about their livelihood, securing food security as well. That's why we promote small-scale farmers to apply sustainable agriculture. The good point of sustainable agriculture or organic farming is promoting, planting much more diversified crops.
Yes.
Not only one thing,
yes.
but also 20 or 30 integrated many crops to reduce the risk of insect attack or disease.
Or natural disaster.
Yes. Through this method, farmers can contribute for enhancing biodiversity.
Oh, that's true.
Yes. So that's why local biodiversity is healthy and more richer. It means very good for or avoiding many risks of climate change or the market prices.
Yes. What are some of the other activities that Seed to Table is doing in order to help the farmers address the risks that they are facing in this day and age?
We try to ask and think together with farmers about the local variety of many different types of seed. For example, we promote to use local seeds as much as possible.
Yes.
Not only buying seeds of vegetables or rice or other fruit trees from the market, but they themselves they were handed down by ancestors. They handed down many different types of seeds, but now they don't use much local varieties because the life cycle of local varieties is much longer than cash crop or hybrid seeds.
Yes.
So that's why many farmers don't like. But the taste, local variety is much more good tolerance
Yes.
for disease or insect or climate change. The most important thing is local varieties is connecting to local food culture.
Yes, that's
So that's
true.
why this variety is very suitable for making a good quality of local food. I also cannot say in a forecast in the future, 5 years later, 10 years later, what will be going on. But then the one thing is if farmers can protect the soil healthy, definitely vegetables or fruits or paddies will be resistance for climate change. So and also especially for the Benche province, they face the risk of serious soil pollution.
Yes.
So it's very difficult. Not only healthy soil, and it cannot be resolved. Solved this kind of problem. So we can see the whole system of agriculture in the seashore or maybe brackish water area. So we have to have a kind of a grand vision or grand design for each different ecosystem. For example, now Benche has 3 different ecosystems: fresh water, brackish water, and the seawater.
Yes.
So in the future, maybe brackish water, the area will be expand because of climate change and the soil pollution. So seawater level is growing. Increasing, rising. So that's why, especially in dry season, many brackish water and fresh water near the brackish water area, people there now will be affected by soil pollution. So we should think about the whole system of crop system in that area. For example, lemongrass is very good tolerance for soil pollution.
So we'll have to think about the changes in crops
For example,
in order to adapt to the climate.
Yep.
In the beginning, how do you get the farmers to say, okay, we're on board, we want to try this? Because sometimes people are hesitant about it. Maybe because they're in a poor situation, they want quicker turnover of crops, quicker profits. And maybe organic farming doesn't bring that.
Yeah. When we talk with small-scale farmers, we talk about difficulties, challenges of organic farming first. They think about whether they can afford during the reduction of production, for example, so they can afford, they can wait. Then they said yes, we want to do that, and then we started, providing, supporting. But 90% of farmers, they don't want to do
Really?
at the first time.
Yes.
And they think, they follow some 10% left.
Yes.
And they try to do, and they try to do, and if they succeed, and 90% of farmers will follow later.
Alongside training, what exactly does Seed to Table provide to the farmers who want to learn more about organic farming?
We also applying a participatory guarantee system we call PGS. This is a kind of the system for securing, guaranteed the quality of the products. And this system is very unique and very good for small-scale farmers, because big companies, they can afford to pay the payment for getting third-party certification. But small-scale farmers, they cannot, because it's very expensive.
Yes.
PGS is a kind of a community-supported system for providing a certification.
Yes.
And securing a guarantee. People contribute time and labor for making a good value chain from production to the consumption. We also try to connect the farmers to consumers through some agri-products fair or agri-products market. And also we try to cooperate with a chef in the restaurant.
Yes.
Seed to Table has recognized that consumers in Vietnam cities are increasingly concerned with finding safe and good quality foods to eat on a daily basis. The NGO has created a network to link the consumers to those producing agricultural products through eco-friendly farming. This network connects farmers, consumers, intermediate traders, and even chefs living in the city to build mutual trust and cooperation on a sustainable basis. By doing so, consumers can get good and safe food, and farmers can get more cash income.
Tell us about what initially brought you to Vietnam 20 years ago.
In 1995, I and my friend traveled Vietnam. It started from Ho Chi Minh City, and I went to Hanoi and Huế, and I come back to Ho Chi Minh City. The most impressed thing was people's smile. Very lovely, and they are very kind, and also beautiful scene, beautiful landscape, and a beautiful food.
Back then, you started, representing a Japanese NGO or Japanese organization here in Vietnam. Tell us about what your job was.
I was involved in community development project and environmental education.
So the office of this first job that you had in Vietnam of the NGO, it closed in 2009. And after that, you decided to stay in Vietnam and continue your job. What led to that decision?
In the program, focused on applying, sustainable farming, just, improving technique of agriculture. And it didn't focus on market. But I think if we want to improve livelihood of local people, especially of poor people or small-scale farmers, we think about the market connection.
Yes, that's true.
So that's why I feel that it was a little bit, lack of something.
Yes.
So that's why I have to set up my own NGO and try to improve the access to the market.
Hòa Bình is home to the Mường ethnic group, with whom Mayu Ino has been working with since 2003.
Tôi đánh giá rất là cao cái nhiệt huyết cũng như là cái trí tuệ, cái công sức và cái đóng góp về tài chính mà MyU đã thông qua rất nhiều những cái dự án và đến giờ này là Seed to Table. Tôi cho rằng là MyU là một người con của Hòa Bình, một người con của Tân Lạc. Cô ấy nói tiếng Mường rất tốt.
Studying, gathering information, recording and categorizing indigenous plants varieties is an important part of the project that MyU has been cooperating with the local authorities for many years. With the efforts, MyU has helped local people understand the value of local plant varieties in practicing clean and organic agriculture.
Hiện giờ thì đang thực hiện phục tráng các cái dòng bà con nông dân đã sử dụng và còn lưu giữ đến bây giờ. Nhưng mà hiện giờ trên thực tế thì cái số lượng người mà còn lưu giữ được những cái giống đó thì là rất là ít. Như vậy là qua cái chương trình hỗ trợ của chị MyU cho chỗ tổ chức Seed to Table ấy, thì bây giờ hầu hết là thanh niên ấy, thì bây giờ thì mới nhận thức được là những cái giá trị quý báu từ những cái nguồn gen mà nó còn lại, những nguồn gen cổ trên những cái cây trồng còn lại, và sau này để tránh cái tình trạng mà nó thất thoát, nó mai một mà sau thế hệ sau không biết là cái giống nó là giống gì nữa.
Farmers also gather native species of seeds to catalog and save for future generations. Such seeds are better suited to local conditions and can be grown in compost without the need for chemicals.
Hiện nay là chúng tôi có một cái giống quýt mà xác định đây là cái cây chủ lực để bà con là xóa nghèo và tiến tới làm giàu. Thế thì cái cây quýt cổ này thì sau khi mà cũng bình tuyển đánh giá và xác định là cái cây này nó phù hợp với cái điều kiện đất đai ở đây. Hiện nay tất cả các hộ đều trồng quýt, 100% hộ trồng quýt. Và có những hộ hiện nay đã nhờ cái quýt này đã làm thay đổi cái cuộc sống của người dân.
Nam Sơn Commune, Tân Lạc District, home to the ancient tangerine variety, currently has 71 hectares of tangerine gardens, with 90% of the local population growing this variety. However, this increase also causes many difficulties for this agricultural production area.
Vâng, theo cái truyền thống bán hàng cái quả quýt này thì chỉ có bán rong, bán lẻ, một số cái tư thương ấy đến tại vườn đấy, cái giá nó thật là bấp bênh. Điều băn khoăn trăn trở nhất là cái đầu ra sau này nếu mà cho thu hoạch là 70 ha đấy, nó 40 ha cho thu hoạch phải trên 20 tấn, từ 20 đến 40 tấn. Tính ra một cái sản phẩm rất là nhiều, rất là băn khoăn trăn trở.
Mà này anh cũng phải có xây dựng một cái là quy trình là thế nào là định nghĩa của nó, là thế nào là cái quýt cổ của Nam Sơn. Ví dụ như là cái lấy từ hạt thôi, chứ không phải là ghép mắt nọ kia nữa. Liên quan đến là cái chỉ dẫn địa lý luôn. Thế nên nếu có cái chỉ dẫn địa lý luôn thì đấy cũng cả là thêm giá trị nữa đấy. Tại vì chỉ có Nam Sơn thì mới có quýt cổ này, đương nhiên là giá trị của nó là cao. Ý là cái chỉ dẫn địa lý này. Thứ hai là cái phải có theo hữu cơ, không có bất kỳ cái gì cái hóa chất nữa.
MyU sau này cũng không thể ở cái Việt Nam mãi được, không ở Nam Sơn mãi được. Nhưng mà cái hình ảnh, cái tình cảm, cái trách nhiệm, cái công việc của MyU thì vẫn mãi ở lại với người Nam Sơn, Hòa Bình chúng tôi.
In the many years that you've worked with the communities in Hòa Bình, how have you seen the families there and the farming culture there change?
In 2003, 2004, just started working with people in the Hòa Bình province. At that time, very small children, 80 years, 9 years, and 10 years later, they grew up.
Yes.
And they started working in communal authority, for example, and they work together with us. And they very understand about the importance of environmental protection. And now they started applying organic farming So it was, a long time to work together, but started, to work with second generation.
Second
Yeah.
generation, wow, yes.
So it's very nice, and our pleasure, to work with people in one area for a long time like that.
You also see how, organic farming, sustainable practices change the lives of the local people there. What benefits has the program brought to these families?
In the mountainous area, because they use steep land, they apply agriculture technique to protect the soil, and they started applying intercropping, so that they become same area, but they can produce many different types of products. For example, beans and maize, tangerine and oranges, and mixed cropping and peanuts and many different things to protect the soil erosion, and to more production, they can get more income, and as well as contribute for their daily diet. And another example is we introduced rice and duck integrated farming.
Oh.
So same area, one 10 of land, paddy field, but usually farmers just transplanting rice.
Yes.
But we introduce releasing ducklings into the paddy and growing together, the ducklings and the paddies are growing together. And then after, when the farmers harvest paddies, they can also sell duck meat for the market.
Yes.
Same area, but they can get the profit double or triple.
That's true.
Yeah.
They increase the value of their
Yes.
land, and the land usage becomes more diverse.
Yep. And so farmers don't need to use pesticide and herbicide because the ducklings can work.
Yes.
If farmers spray some agrochemicals, ducks will die.
It will
So,
affect
yeah.
the ducks, so they have a motivation to not,
Yes.
not use the
No,
herbicides.
yeah.
Mà thịt giáo này người ta không có đi ai nữa.
The families, when you first met them, you said a lot of these families were in poor condition. So how have their life changed in the years after applying organic farming and more sustainable practices?
First, farmers feel they are healthier than before because spraying chemical,
That's true.
pesticide, it affected directly to farmers' health. But after applying organic farming, they themselves feel very comfortable. So they don't want to, change, come back to the conventional farming method anymore. And the second one is, for example, in Benche province, economical influence is very significant. For example, one farmer in Benche province just only have 500 square meters land. She's always growing, average is 20 different varieties of vegetables, and she can get income monthly at least $300. And if in the rainy season, she could get $500. Only 500 square meters.
Yeah.
And in the same area, farmers who are planting paddy, 1 hectare, 3 months, 90 days for getting a harvest. And after harvest, farmers can just only 150 US dollars income.
Yeah, so that's the normal situation.
Yes, but then after applying organic farming, organic farmers, they can get more profit. Based on this experience, I confident that organic farming is very suitable for small-scale farmers.
Is that the reason why Seed to Table decided to focus more on small-scale farmers and not bigger productions?
No, yes. If they want to scale up for organic farming, they have to think about their labor.
Yes, that's true.
And so, different system needed. So in the current situation, many farmers in rural area in Vietnam, they don't have any condition suitable for scaling up because no young people.
That's true.
And now shortage of labor. So that's why we want to focus on small scale farmers.
Yes. I understand that in the consumer population that is local, not only do you target individual local consumers, but you also try to connect these farmers with local schools.
And after providing training to high school students, and they started practicing in their school to make vegetable gardens and to make vegetables there, they started talking about their experience to their parents.
Yes.
And their parents are also farmers. So after studying this program, many parents were interested in organic farming skills.
Yes.
And some of them started applying organic farming.
And so, the children are the one teaching them.
Yes, yes. And it's very funny because we work together with small-scale farmers. When we talk about the organic farming or agriculture extension center stuff together and discuss with farmers, but the farmers don't believe, they don't believe immediately. But if their children say to them, they believe. And the advantage is, if the farmers want to see what is going on, they can come to the school to see the school garden.
An extracurricular activities by the students in Ngô Văn Kính High School in Mỏ Cày Bắc District, Bến Tre Province. Besides many outdoor activities, some students have another activity to take part in today. They joined a lesson about organic farming supported by Seed to Table. During the lesson, the students are equipped with knowledge about organic farming. They can also practice making compost from cow drop.
Điều ra. Ngày hôm nay là mình đã biết thêm một số cách để tạo dựng một vườn rau hữu cơ theo ý muốn. Với lại là cách để trồng ra những loại rau mà tốt cho sức khỏe và phù hợp với môi trường hơn. Những cái kỹ thuật này em thấy cũng là khá là đơn giản và dễ làm. Sau khi thực hiện mô hình này có thể là em sẽ về nhà hướng dẫn cho gia đình.
Thì hôm nay mình cũng học được rất nhiều những thứ mình chưa biết là cách ủ phân và ủ phân bò và những nguyên liệu có thể là nói là bỏ đi và như là cỏ khô rồi mình có thể là ủ bằng nấm trichogramma.
This 300 square meter plot will be used at the garden for the students to practice organic farming. This is the first year the school cooperated with Seed to Table to implement this model among students.
Qua một số đơn vị trường học ở trong tỉnh, chẳng hạn như trường Trung học phổ thông Lương Thế Vinh, trường Trung học phổ thông Nguyễn Đình Khai, thì cái dự án này cũng đã tiến hành rồi, tạo điều kiện cho các em có cái dịp để mà khảo nghiệm để hướng tới giáo dục kỹ năng sống.
Besides teaching the student how to do organic farming, Mayu Ino also has other projects in Bến Tre Province to help improve the lives of poor people through sustainable agricultural farming. Khai's family used to be a poor household as he didn't have a job. However, he has now got a job cutting a grass to feed his cow, which come from the cow bank introduced to the local people in Mayu Ino's project. He had to overcome several rounds before receiving a cow from the cow bank.
Thử thách là mình nuôi chỉ có được 20 mấy con vịt thôi. Rồi lần thứ nhất mình đạt, rồi là mới đăng ký nuôi lần thứ hai là cũng đạt nữa. Thì trong 2 vòng đó thì cũng nhờ là cái ban cộng đồng là giúp đỡ, rồi mới là hướng dẫn để tập huấn rồi nuôi bò.
Từ 20 con vịt lúc ban đầu để cho người nông dân biết cách hạch toán kinh tế, rồi biết cách tận dụng những cái thế mạnh của gia đình mình, của địa phương mình. Từ đó nuôi có lời, thì sau đó tiếp tục là ổn định nuôi tiếp, hết một cái chu kỳ thì lại tiếp tục một chu kỳ khác. Thì qua đó người nông dân là tích lũy được những cái kinh nghiệm về chăn nuôi, kể cả những cái kinh nghiệm về cái kiến thức mà tính toán về cái hạch toán kinh tế trong sản xuất. Thì sau đó chúng tôi tiến đến là đưa cho người nông dân cái số vốn lớn hơn qua hình thức là đưa cái hiện vật là con bò.
This way, from the 73 cows at first, the project has had over 180 households on the count, most of which have escaped poverty. Mayu Ino also helps local people in building facility so that they can process the products that they produce.
Now, you mentioned at the beginning that your background is in sociology. Your parents were not farmers. You grew up in Tokyo.
Yeah.
So how did your love for farming develop?
Actually, my mother started farming. I mean, just only Saturday and Sunday because she had a job. She had a kindergarten, and when I and my younger brothers were born in the 1970s. At that time, Japan was also facing such a kind of food safety problem. So many environmental pollution and not good quality of food, for example. So my mother started farming, renting. She rent some small area near my house, and she produced vegetables in organic way. And the first purpose was providing healthy vegetables to family. And then she developed the area, and she provided for the kindergarten as well.
Wow.
So, and she has been managing planting organic vegetables for 30, 40 years already.
Wow.
Yeah. But then when I was young, I did not like, helping my mother. I sometimes helped her, but I didn't like to go to, the field. To touch the soil or something, and I was afraid, insects very much. So that's why I didn't like. But after coming to Vietnam, I could learn from Vietnamese farmers many things, and my major is not agriculture, but I could learn from many farmers of Vietnam and many farmers, my teachers in the world. Many people taught me how to protect the environment, how to grow paddies and how to grow vegetables, for example. So later I started, I like farming and I like agriculture. If I have a chance in the future to study something again, I definitely choose one of two majors. One is agriculture. Second one is becoming a doctor.
Yes.
Because two sectors, two majors, we can help people everywhere in the world.
Mayu Ino first arrived in Vietnam in 1997 as a student of language and culture at Hanoi National University. Then she fell in love with the country and living here for 20 years. And of course, she has a lot of Vietnamese friends. Now she is living and working in Ho Chi Minh City and Bến Tre province. she still keeps contact and takes the time to visit her friends in Hanoi.
Cuộc sống ở trong ấy
ở đâu cũng thế thôi, nhưng mà đấy cái là Hà Nội nó tiện, tại vì cái nó cũng quen ấy rồi, nhưng mà cũng ít khi ở nhà, đi suốt. Một tháng thì lại ở một đêm thôi mà, nhà mình ấy.
thì ở đây cũng thế, mai cũng cứ đi suốt, nhưng mà những cái ngày ở đây thì cũng vui.
Và
khi mà Mai mà vào cái xóm nhà tôi ở thì là thấy Mai là người Nhật nhưng mà rất thân thiện với Việt Nam, cũng là một người Nhật rất là giỏi, mà mình là người Việt Nam thì mình rất cảm tưởng như là hai bên như là một thôi, chứ không phải là người nước ngoài. Đấy, rất tình cảm, nói chung là rất chu đáo và nhiệt tình. Mai thì là sang Việt Nam thì là cũng được nhiều năm rồi, thì những cái ẩm thực của Việt Nam thì dần dần cũng hấp thụ được nhiều. Mai là người Nhật nhưng mà sang Việt Nam thì những món giả dụ như món mắm tôm bún đậu là mình cảm tưởng như người nước ngoài không ăn được, nhưng mà Mai là người Nhật nhưng mà rất sang Việt Nam rất thích ăn món đấy. Mai là một người coi như là năng nổ với công việc, rất nhiệt tình với người Việt Nam mình, nói chung là rất tốt.
I didn't think about, how many years I have to stay here or how many years more and I have to live here. I cannot say like that. And working together with local people in Vietnam, and then 20 years passed very quickly.
Yes.
And I would like to enhance, cooperation and sharing experience between Vietnamese people and the Japanese people. Yes. So maybe I will work both in Japan and Vietnam later. And I would like to introduce Vietnamese experience to Japan and the Japanese experience to Vietnam.
Yes. What has made you most proud in your years working here in Vietnam?
Farmers and our target people. Work together. Not only target people, but now my friends. Now they are friends. After talking, working together, they changed in a good way. They could learn about organic farming, and they were very healthy, and they learn how to do, and they can share with other people, and they try to connect the people, work together. So after knowing that, I was very happy to see that, to see the change of the people in a good way.
What does the future look like for Seed to Table? What do you hope?
I would like to develop food processing much more, and each community has a kind of specialty. They're not only saying about organic farming, but I want to focus on a more cultural aspect and much more happiness of people.
I wish you all of the best of luck with Seed to Table, and that the farmers that you're working with, the communities that you're working with, will continue to reap much success in building a sustainable environment and a sustainable future for their livelihoods. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. That has also wrapped up this edition of Talk Vietnam. Our guest was Mayu Ino of Seed to Table, as we learned about their different diverse projects in helping local communities to have a better sustainable future in not only their production, but also providing many more diverse, environmentally friendly and organic products to the community here in Vietnam. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you more next time here on our show. Goodbye for now.